Welcome to the Toffee TV podcast, episode 27. Ped, Baz, and Steve is in joining us.
Yep.
Remember when the Piv used to do this?
I know.
Good times, wasn't it?
Busy, isn't he?
Is he though? Is he?
Well, says he is.
Yeah, he says he is. Just can't be asked.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's only so much XG you can discuss now.
I think so. He's just been speaking about
Goalkeeping,
XG goalkeeping, which is more nonsense, isn't it? Really?
But it backs up your thing.
It backs up that Jordan Pickford isn't
playing very well at the moment, to say the least.
He's below a goalkeeper who's let 9 in.
That's worrying, that though, isn't it? You know what I mean? That's worrying. That's more worrying than getting married in ripped jeans and a cap, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It really is, isn't it?
I mean, my worry about that is we've had Morgan Schneiderlin playing quite well, got married, fell off a cliff. Gylfi Sigurdsson scoring 15 goals, got married last summer. It's been horrific. And now Pickford's getting married in the summer, so I'm hoping it has the reverse
Luca Dean had a baby. That's not helped.
So what we're saying is, any personal thing that you do, either increase your family or get married.
I'm getting married in the summer. What's going to happen to me?
You're going to have a mare next year. You're not going to remember anyone.
This is why when Dom got rid of that Instagram girlfriend.
Yeah,
you know the one, don't you?
I know
that suddenly he showed a level of professionalism there, didn't he?
He had a lot of energy to expect.
That's it. He kept a lot of energy.
Which obviously he didn't have before.
God knows what Tom Davies has been up to recently, but
let's go. Sunday. At least we're smiling.
Yeah. Oh well, you've got a smile, haven't you?
Worst things happen.
There are worse things happen. We'll talk about those in part 2. But no, I think Sunday obviously was horrific. It really was horrific, wasn't it? It was like when you just think new era, new Everton. No, back to normal Everton.
I know, but and I was guilty of this Sunday. I thought we'd win. I really did.
Use them mental. Honestly, why would you even think that? Why would you even think
because
that?
I've said this before, I've seen a lot of Chelsea this season, and they are up and down.
I know, but the difference with seeing a lot of Chelsea in other games is they weren't playing Everton.
No, I know, but we've seen them at close quarters at Goodison. I've seen them in a lot of games this season. Some they've been good, and others they've been dire. And remember that teams like Southampton went there, West Ham went there and won. So you're just thinking, well, we played quite well at Arsenal and blew it by missing chances. Yeah. We were robbed against United the week before when we'd won the game, and that United are on a good run. So why wouldn't we go somewhere where we haven't won and actually just things fall into place, like other teams? But it didn't work out that way. And I think the thing I took from it was it's easier to kind of cast it off, I think, when everyone is awful. Yeah. I think if half your team plays as a good go and the other half let you down, I think that's harder to take. Everyone to a man, barring the goalkeeper, to be fair, I thought were terrible at the weekend.
Wasn't great at all. I was like you. I got a bit too caught up in the moment, probably about, I said to you, 3-1 Richarlison and Mina, and I was like, Mina didn't even start.
Maybe we would have won 3-1 if Mina
but I think it was just I think we all got into this mindset where we thought we're this good team maybe, but I think we're probably not all of us.
No, I know what you mean. I'm not in that mindset whatsoever.
No, but I think also what happened was seeing the list of players they had missing as well.
Yeah,
but they still have
a good team.
They do.
I'm not in that mindset at all. I'm not convinced by this Everton team till they actually go out and win these games. And that's like, I know the other week you were fuming about the Arsenal game, but I thought I wasn't, because I thought that perfectly embodies Everton Football Club. Is that, and that's what we've been doing for years and years, and that's the thing we've got to start breaking. Is if you go to a great ground and you play well and you don't win the game and you don't get anything out of it, how are you going to go to a place and not play well and get a win? And I think we're
Well, you must have been surprised by how bad we were. Not necessarily we lost the game, but how badly we performed.
I just laughed. I just laughed because I just felt it in the first 10 minutes. There was we had no energy to us at all. We had absolutely nothing about us. The midfield was just embarrassing, and it brings it home to you how poor we are, and how even in the games we've won, we've generally relied on Richarlison and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and we've had a few like one little 1-0s and stuff like that during Ancelotti's spell. The goals we've conceded now, it's ridiculous how many goals we've been conceding recently. And again, it's something that needs to be addressed. And I'm just like looking at it thinking, hopefully this will get addressed. This is showing them all the problems. This is the reality of it. But I'm never going to go somewhere thinking we've got a chance when I don't think we've got. I think we've got to play really well and take our chances to win these games.
And I think if you look at the wins we've had under Ancelotti, we've struggled to get those wins, if that makes sense.
Yeah, we've not battered them.
That's what I mean. We've like
and if we have, we haven't.
Like Palace at home, they've been 2-1. I know we deserve to win the game, but I mean, we haven't been convincing, have we?
There's a team 22 points clear or whatever that's won 13 games by a single goal.
No, it's not.
And games they shouldn't
have
won.
It's not even about winning by the single goal.
Yeah,
it's for me. It's not about that. What I mean is, it's about having control of the game.
Exactly,
and I think we haven't. Yeah. There's not too many games we've had control. And this is not a criticism of Ancelotti, by the way. This is the cold hard reality of it, isn't it? Is that we're not a great team, and until he gets a few more players in, we've got some very. What I mean, you look at their team. You said it yourself. People are saying, "Oh, this player's out and that player's out," and yet when I seen their team announced at 1 o'clock, I was like, "They still got a really good side." Yeah. You know,
they've got a much better squad, haven't they?
And what the thing about it is, though, it's all the elements of it: good experience, good young players, and a few good players in the middle, and they have the ability
and legs.
And that's the difference, though. They have the ability. Some teams have the ability, and Chelsea seem to have the ability, is to bring young players in and freshen things up. We are again back in this thing where all it is the same players being recycled, and that's the big problem for Everton.
At what stage are we gonna? At what stage do we get to a situation where it isn't really the circle of crap, though? Because it's difficult, isn't it? Because we've bought a lot of players over the last 4 years, which is half the problem. But now the players who are the issue are players we've bought, but we still want out. Do you know what I mean? It's not like we've had someone in. It's not like we've got Coleman and Baines starting and they're not at the level. Do you know, Baines was great last week when he played, by the way. And Coleman, you know, alright, Coleman's not the same player, but he's still defensively better than Jibril Sidibe, isn't he? But it's the players who have come in and we want them out the team because they're not performing. You know, I'm looking at Michael Keane, who I thought had a nightmare at the weekend. You know, and this is I thought he was great last season. I thought he played really well last season for Everton, really consistent. He's had a terrible season, and now I'm looking and thinking we will move him on in the summer. Gylfi Sigurdsson, 40. I was told when we got him, he was going to be this match winner. He was great. He set pieces were like as good as a goal. He's never scored a free kick for Everton.
No.
He's been here 3 years. So, you know, these are the players who are letting us down. And then you've got, I mean, I seen a stat the other day that he never touched the ball for 14 minutes. He's in midfield. How can you not touch the ball?
Runs away from
it. Especially though, when you're under pressure, like we were, you go and make a tackle, you go and block it off. Our midfield was dribbled past 8 times. 8 times by 3 kids. Well, you know, Ross, I'm calling the kid, he's 26, isn't he? But, you know, he's a young player. You've got Mason Mount, who's had a really good season for Chelsea, and you've got Billy Gilmour, who come in and just passed the ball sideways, which was fine, because he kept everything moving for them. Where we had Davis, Gomez, who's not fit, and people who were calling him is berserk to me, because he's only just trying to get. Ped said he's having a pre-season again, but he's playing.
He's 4 games.
Davis was terrible. Sigurdsson was non-event, and Bernard, who I really like on the right, was a non-event. So that first half, the midfield was just a joke, absolutely, and it didn't improve second half.
No, and I think it boils down to. I've said this a few times. I was still, unfortunately, paying the faults of the old regime still, and those players you just mentioned there, Michael Keane, Gylfi Sigurdsson, they weren't Schneider, they weren't bought by the people who are in charge now, and unfortunately, until we get rid of these average footballers now, and are making other players look very average as well, in my opinion, nothing's going to change until the summer,
like,
probably.
For me, what I feel like is there's like a blocked pathway in many ways, because what we're seeing is this season we're seeing players that were bought in the summer blocked as well. Iwobi, Keane, they're all blocked because it's like the whole like.
I don't mind Moise Keane being blocked, by the way.
No,
the 2 lads are
what I
doing
mean
the
is though, for the whole machinery of the football club is still dealing with those players that were brought in by Walsh and you know, Allardyce and Koeman, and because I don't think we're seeing the best of the because there's a lot of people out there who'll call Marcel Brands out and look at his signings, and that's fair enough. That's no problem. You can't at the moment. Just not.
But isn't it fair to say that our best players are basically the ones Brands has brought in?
No, I know they
With
are.
the exception of Dominic Calvert-Lewin.
What I'm saying is, what I'm saying is that some of them are getting caught. Mina should be like a settled player, and he's not. Dean should be a settled player, and he's not. Gomez should be a settled player, and he's not. Bernard the same. Then the players we brought in the summer should be, but they're not finding a way to integrate them because you've still got all these players, and I think we've got that many players and have been used in different ways by different managers. Is that's not a lot. So the squad's too big, so that prohibits young players coming through and getting time on the bench and getting the odd game here and there, because no one's had the ball so far, rightly or wrongly, to just grab hold of someone like Gylfi Sigurdsson and just go, "You're done, mate." Or grab hold of Morgan Starr and just say, "You're done, mate." They keep on finding a reason to play them, because there is always a reason to play them, because we're always 3 games away from crisis. That's what the way it's been in the last 3 years, hasn't it?
Yeah.
We're always 3. So it feels like the whole pathway of young players and new players is blocked because Dean can't get going because Bernard's not playing in front of him, and then Iwobi hasn't settled in because injury and formations changing, and it all just feels like that. It's all up in the air, and it might just take a summer of
a massive reset, isn't it?
The summer is the reset, and hopefully, touch wood, we get rid of some of those players that really we should have got rid of. Like, I know Sneijderlin might he might come in. I know in the recent games he's come in and did all right.
To be honest, I think he'd have been all right Sunday.
No, I know he would have, but that's the point, isn't it? That's the same mindset. Instead of saying 2 years ago it should have been get rid of him and start introducing a Beningame, and Beningame 2 years on would have been alright in that game. I think that's the problem we've had. We've got players who are on such big money and it costs so much and we can't get rid of them, that you have to almost justify them being at the club, because we've already got Balassi out, Sancho out on loan, costing us millions of pounds. If you're the owner, you've got to look at those players and say, you have to not you have to play them, but someone has got to justify to me either they get played or you get rid of them. It can only be one or the other. I can't afford these players to be sitting on the bench at the club as it is. It's wasted talent, and I'd rather, because what happens if a young player comes in and you go, well, what happens? We've seen it this week. Mason Holgate and Dominic Calvert-Lewin get 5-year contracts, and now they're on big money, justifiably so. But if I'm the owner, I'm sitting here going, well, hang on, if you bring this player in and he does really well, I've got to give him a big contract. You've already brought that lad in who, do you know what I mean? There's only so far, even for Brands, that the owner can extend money. It can't, and this is where Brands now has to get rid of these players. They can't be. He has to come up with some clever way, if he can't sell them, to get rid of them, because they're just weights around our neck. And
Towson's another one.
And the other thing is, it's not just that they're playing as well. That means you wonder Ancelotti's playing these players, but how many he's thinking, I don't really want to play you, but I've in this grand scheme of things, I've got to, because no one's coming through. And I mean, I think there's so much that needs sorting out in the summer. And
I think what you just said there about the players that we brought in, they're coming into the club and they're seeing those players, and they're probably picking up on bad habits they've brought into the club as well. So, like, you're looking at like we're looking at Luca Dean at the moment, who's probably not been at his best this season. He's fallen into that category now. If he's low, he looks like he's lowered his standards to some of their levels, and that's not a good thing. And probably the only one you could say who hasn't really lowered himself to them standards is Richarlison, who just seems to be in a class of his own.
For me, Iwobi's the classic case of it, because he's come into the club, he's looking for a fresh start. He's trying to get away from Arsenal, where it's not going for him. They've made the decision on him. He's coming to Everton, fresh start. There's no, we were sitting in the summer and Andy was like, Iwobi would be a good sign. His numbers are really, really good. He gets into a struggling side. Sigurdsson again was the big block, wasn't he? Because he wanted to play the number 10 in a 4-5-1. Then he gets a few opportunities, looks lively there, carries the ball well, helps create goals, then gets the injury, and then comes back and it's a new manager. It's 4-4-2. Plays him in his first game, and we haven't seen, and then Arsenal, and then we haven't seen him since come off the bench. And it's the manager going, well, hang on, I haven't really got time Whereas maybe in the summer he'll go, I have got time, and it's those things that have been happening for the last. It's those things, isn't it, for the last 2-3 years that have been happening. No, manager can't get traction, players don't get traction, and you end up with, even us, we sit here and every week we'll go, we can sit here and it affects nothing, and we'll do like the starting 11 show, and you're picking the same old. I never go, let's play Gordon this week, or let's do this radical thing, and I've got no influence on it. I'm just, it's fantasy football to me, and yet I don't do it because you get caught up in the same tropes that the managers must do. Well, he hasn't played for ages, so why would I really play him? I know that it will be someone you've championed, Baz, and you really want to see play, but do you think that's hard, or would you just think we should just drop him in there and leave him in there for the rest of the season? I think we should.
Someone like Sigurdsson, for me, is only going one way, and that's out the door. His legs have gone, and I know the manager might look and go, well, because he said in the press conference, well, he does the things that no one's like him the way we play. He doesn't touch the ball. If you don't touch a ball for 14 minutes, you shouldn't be anywhere near our team.
Then the manager's right. Manager's right then, isn't he?
Well, but I'm saying, well, yeah, he does things no one does, sorry, yeah. But obviously the manager knows more than I do, but just from my perspective of watching it now, I would rather see Alex Iwobi in there trying to learn this way of playing so we can make a decision on him. Because it might be that Ancelotti plays him and says, listen, we're playing 4-4-2 now going forward for the next 4 years while I'm the manager. Now, you either learn to play in a 4-4-2, or if you can't, mate, we're going to have to sell you the way Arsenal did, because you're no good to me, because this is how I play. Keeping him on a bench, dropping him in, taking him out. This is what's happened to Tom Davies, which is why Tom Davies is woeful at the minute, because his form's dropped, because he's in and out. He played well against United. He goes to Chelsea and looks like he can't get near a lad who's never played in the Premier League before. Ross Barkley looked like Zidane, and Mason Mount just ran off Tom all day and he couldn't keep up with him because he doesn't know where he is. So there is whereas conversely, when you looked at Chelsea, you had people like Azpilicueta, you had Alonso, Olivier Giroud, played a lot of Premier League games, won trophies. Kurt Zouma played a lot of Premier League games. Then you've got Rudiger, German international, knows how to play the game. So you're looking around him, Willian, who's a fantastic footballer. Really, so they had that, and then they had the youthfulness of Barkley and Mount and Gilmore, and then
that's like Pedro, got a good mix.
And Pedro, who's won Champions League with Barcelona. So they've got that, and they had 6 players out. So for Everton, have got to get that. But what Lampard's done well is he hasn't allowed the likes of Olivier Giroud to block Tammy Abraham's path. He hasn't allowed Danny Drinkwater, who is getting sent back from Villa actually for butting someone. Allegedly. He didn't allow him to block the path of, say, Mason Mount. Ross Barkley struggled to get in because obviously other players have done it, but he's got in and he's given him a go. And to be honest, Ross's off the pitch things have cost him more than performances. So they have managed to clear it, and I think that's what Peds is alluding to, that we get a clear line of sight and move a few of these players to the side and bring in your Lewis Gibsons at the end of the season or whatever, then maybe we will. Because on the pitch at the weekend, that was an embarrassing display from Everton.
That's one thing that I banged the drum and different people tell me different things. But that having young players who can look at experienced players and go, you've been there and done it, I think is a huge thing, Steve. Whereas I think at us, our young player, like Richarlison, I look at him and he probably looks at Sigurdsson and just goes, you shouldn't be on the same pitch I'm on. You offer nothing. I have to do your running. I think that's where Dean, like you said before, I think that's one of Dean's little things, is that Dean's just gone. I think he's not saying he has, but he's almost like, I've looked at Dean this season.
Won't be a conscious decision.
No, don't get me wrong. I've looked at Dean this season and he looks to me like a player that's gone, I'm going somewhere else next season. This is crap. I'm better than all of yous, and I'm playing I'm playing for a team that's in the bottom half of the table. I should be playing for a team challenging for the leagues. And what you said right before, it drags you down because you become, it's like anything else with you, any workplace.
It's a subconscious thing.
You just. What is the point in doing? Some players are like this. It's like, what's the point in doing it amazingly well when it doesn't actually alter anything that's going on? And that's the problem. And I think
we've seen this with Lukaku towards the end. He was banging goals in and turning around, and John Stone just doing Cruyffs on the edge of his box and conceding goals. And I remember the Stoke game, clear as day, when he was incredible, one of his best performances. We lost the game. He scored 3 goals, he scored 2, and he was turning around like that when we conceding goals, as if to say, I'm doing my
and that's
job,
what
are you doing?
And that's what actually I think makes people's minds up of when they're going to leave a club. Is that's when they go, and you're right, Lukaku's probably perfect. They go, this isn't changing. Yeah. So what's the point? It's great, I'm scoring all these goals, but I've got goals to go and win leagues.
They've got time, players. Look and go, we haven't got time. And I think for Luca Dean, I don't understand what Marco Silva was playing at, because he stumbled upon something last season that worked brilliantly.
And he
stopped doing it. And then if Bernard's there and fit, play him in front of Luca Dean. Go back to what works. Okay, they work well together. Yeah. Bernard works hard. He's not the quickest, but he's not slow. He's good on the ball.
Newcastle game proved that when
exactly.
He Newcastle.
Play him and bring him in off the left. Sigurdsson's offering nothing on the left hand side. Now, if you want to play Sigurdsson, then either play him next to Gomez. Yeah, I know, but what I'm saying is, if you think he can do something, or play him on the right hand side. But then again, I wouldn't play him. I'd rather see Alex Iwobi on one side and Bernard on the other. And this is what you're saying. What do we do with the middle of the park? Gomez has got to play, because we haven't got anybody like him. If we had someone like Gomez wouldn't be playing. He'd be getting brought on with half an hour left, easing him in. He's back in the team because we haven't got anybody like him. And then the partner for him, Schneiderlin's out for a month. Delph's hit and miss. He's fit one week, not the next. So Davis is up and down. And then you're left with Sigurdsson. Otherwise you go, hang on, should we put Mason Holgate in there then? Now, yeah, Mason would go in and do us a job and probably be brilliant there, because he's a good player.
Yeah.
Then Michael Keane has to partner Yerry Mead. Exactly. So, all right, man, that's fine. Because what you say to Mason then is, you say, right, when our fullbacks push on, you drop and just make it a 3, and we're all right, because we can make our fullbacks ball. That's great. If Gomez then crosses the halfway line, so you'd have to say to Gomez, you've got to be the attacking midfielder, not someone who drops off and pings it here, there and everywhere. That could work, but it means we'd have to defend a little bit deeper, because we'll get done with pace with Michael Keane in the side and Mina. Mina's not slow, he's quicker than Keane, but the pair of them are a little bit reactive. You need a little bit of insurance next to them. And that, given the options that we've got in midfield, and I don't really want to do it because Holgate's excellent at centre-back, but I would probably play Mason in there now till the end of the season, or certainly for the next few weeks until maybe Schneiderlin's back, or maybe Delph proves his fitness, because I just don't think we can carry on with this midfield. That midfield on Sunday was atrocious, absolutely atrocious.
They were just passing the ball through the midfield all the time. It was just so easy. Like, watching the game, it was just like every time they went forward, you thought they were just going to score, because we just had nothing. It
was 4-0 with 40 minutes to go or something.
To me, like, going back to the game, it was just, from Sigurdsson's point of view, I said this on Sunday, I don't really like to point the finger at players, but when you see some of the stats from the weekend, like it's sprints and stuff, to me that I would take a player.
4 sprints.
I'd rather have someone who wasn't good enough, maybe, but ran round a bit more. And I know that's not the standards I want for Everton.
No.
But you've got to give everything.
Would Anthony Gordon have done? This is what I ask. Would he have done any worse than Sigurdsson at the weekend?
I don't know. I mean,
4 sprints in 94 minutes.
He probably wouldn't have. But the manager's obviously looking for key moments. He's looking for set pieces. He's looking for getting into shape. There's pictures, Jamie Carragher did the thing, didn't he? Where he's showing the shape. And when we go forward, it's 3 at the back with one of the centre midfielders dropping in, and fullbacks play high. And then obviously when the fullbacks push high, Sigurdsson then tucks in and becomes an extra centre midfielder. Maybe when training, when they do these patterns of play, Sigurdsson's really good at keeping the shape, and maybe he does keep the shape, but he doesn't actually affect games anymore. And I think
doesn't want the ball, does he?
And I think the other thing that he never wants the ball. You're right. And the other thing I would say as well is, and this is where I'm not obviously telling Ancelotti what to do, but this is where fans will start picking holes in Ancelotti and start looking and going, why are you playing him? Because we say, all 3 of us would sit here and go, he shouldn't be playing, and yet he'd probably say he should be playing, and he'll give us 1,000 reasons why he should be playing, and Steve, you can give that one reason of just saying doesn't run. He doesn't put the effort in that we expect as an Everton player. And if you went and you played Anthony Gordon out there, he would do it, or Bernard would do it, and
Dennis Adonir.
Yeah, exactly. And but that means nothing to me or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's where fans will start picking holes. It's almost like now we know too much about the game, and we can watch it from a million different angles, and so. But I mean, at times we want that explanation. We want the manager to come out and justify why are you playing this player. But at the same time, we don't want it to get to that point, because then, as a manager, he might feel like as fans are picking holes in it.
But the only thing that's saying is like what you just said there. We might know too much. With someone like Sigurdsson, we do know too much because we've seen the evidence of it. Where Ancelotti, me personally, I'd guess he'll play against Liverpool. Right, because he might look and go, well, we get a set piece at Goodison, we might score from it against Liverpool, so he'll probably play. I'm not going to be, stamping my feet if I see him in the starting lineup, because I'm giving him almost a free pass till the summer, Ancelotti, because he can only go with what he's got. But if he's playing next season, then I will start questioning him, because he offers nothing. If you haven't ran, if you sprinted 4 times in 94 minutes when you're playing in the middle of in the midfield, you haven't touched the ball for 14 minutes, and that's just in one section of the game. That is a disgrace to me. And you're on 100 grand a week. People can go, don't care how much they earn. I do. If you're on 120, 30 grand a week, you run around till you can't run anymore. That's the least thing. There was 3,000 Evertonians had left at 5:30, 6 o'clock on Sunday morning and gone to London. And it was pissing down. They stood there and watched the team come out and not lay a glove. Not lay a glove on a team who's been up and down. So as good as Chelsea were on the day, and as good as they played and they took the goals and all that, Everton made it far too easy. If a team come to Goodison and did that, I remember Aston Villa coming to Goodison a few years ago. We beat them 4-0.
Yeah,
and I remember saying, me and you were doing a thing in here. Not one Villa player got booked, and they were in the bottom 3. And I remember saying, I would be livid if Everton went away and didn't lay a glove on the opposition and no one even cared to put a tackle in. Garner played that day as well for Villa, madly enough. I'd be fuming. And that's exactly what Everton did at the weekend. When he went 1-0 down, no one turned around and went, sit in, let's stay in this game. They just carried on doing it. The second half, the second goal the other night, Carragher showed it on the thing. The second goal, the first goal's bad. Davis just lets Mason Mount run off him, which is ridiculous when he was marking him. The second goal, Pedro's one. Sidibe's next to Pedro. He's literally stood next to him. And instead of just going with him and the danger's averted, he does what he did against Arsenal and just lets him run.
And how many times has Pedro done that run?
And you knew if he's next to you, go with him.
Sidibe actually does.
He does
Sidibe
well,
gets back into the shape really well. He shows that. But Ross Barkley's coming out of midfield with the ball. It's a good ball. I don't think it's an amazing ball. I think it's a good ball. I think it's the only ball.
It's in a danger area.
It's the only ball on.
Early, let's change.
There's no one. Again, it's that symptomatic of our midfield where he's running away from them because they're also bleeding slow.
It was the first time ball, wasn't it?
Michael Keane. There's 10 yards between Ross Barkley and Michael Keane. So Michael Keane's looking at him and really can't do nothing because it turns like that bleeding virgin liner that was in the Managerial of the week. But Sidibe is running in the right direction. If Sidibe
and can see him.
If Sidibe just keeps running and drops with him and then says to him, right, well, you've got to beat me
now,
Sidibe will keep up with him because he's already running.
He's quick.
He's already running. But it's that idea of
and it gives Keane a chance to get back. Then.
Well, no, that is though. That's from the training ground where you get told to do something all day, and you only do. It's like Forrest Gump. Honestly, no, but it is though.
You'll only do what
you're told instead of having some kind of putting your own thing on it and going, hang on, this fella's going to go through the gap here, but he doesn't, and it's exactly what he did against the Arsenal. Exactly the same thing. He's trying to do something rather than thinking about it in the moment.
Deal with the danger.
Dealing with the danger, and that was the killer goal.
I think it just comes down to it, doesn't it? Really, and some players just aren't good enough to play for us. That's the harsh reality, unfortunately.
Well, we've just got to get through to the
summer. Like I said, that's why I didn't really have any. When Ancelotti come in, I seen all the Europe chat, and obviously it would have been. We still can't finish technically in Europe, but. I wasn't one of these who were like, yeah, we'll definitely do it because there's certain players in that team still you just don't trust as a fan, and I'm sure there's certain other players who want to play for the club who look around sometimes and think, what am I doing playing with players like this? And with Sigurdsson, it's just all we needed on Sunday was someone to actually want to come and get the ball. No one wanted to. I mean, just kicking it into nowhere.
But what we don't have is we don't have that player. Yeah, Gomez was absolutely shot.
That's why I was surprised. Probably Iwobi didn't play because at least he'll come and get the ball and drive with it. Maybe.
I mean, what I'd say is when Sigurdsson went in field with Gomez and made it a 2 in there, we didn't kind of get run over as much because they got hold of the ball a little bit. We didn't. Don't get me wrong. We didn't do anything. We had 3 attempts at goal, which is embarrassing as well.
1 on target.
And 1 on target. But you know, Dom missed the key moment in the game for us right on half time. He scores that 2-1. Maybe there's a bit of doubt in their mind. Maybe there's a bit of confidence in that dressing room when you go in and go, look, you haven't played well and you're in the game. You just got a goal back. This is on now. And maybe the players have a bit of belief. He missed it, and then after that you could tell. I mean, Dom, 8 passes I think he made and was brought on. It was his worst game for a while, wasn't it? And that's the way it is. He's been that good for that long that he's going to have a dip at times. That's football.
Like Ped said the other day, if it was on the final word, they're the type of chances he's got to start taking.
Yeah. Got to.
But he's improved. He has. We've said every year he needs to do this now.
Yeah.
You know, he needs to hold the ball up better. Can do it. He needs to start running in behind, get his hands dirty. He's done it. He needs to add goals. He's done it. Now the next challenge for Dominic Calvert-Lewin is, can you be more clinical? When you get one chance in a game, can you hit the target? Can you take it? Because that's what the likes of Vardy will do, or it's what the likes of Harry Kane will do, or Salah for Liverpool. They get that one chance and it's bang and it's in the net and you're back in the game. Unfortunately for Dom, he clipped it wide. He didn't connect at all with it. But he's not one, or Richarlison, who I'm going to point the finger at because it is what it is. I actually thought his misses at Arsenal were a million times worse the other week because he was in a great run and he had the the sitters were woeful. The one that was rolled across the 6-yard box, too many miskicked it, things like that. But he's done brilliantly, him and Richarlison. And for me, like you said right at the very start, the fact that everyone was terrible means I've been able to just go on Monday, right, it's done. It was that bad, it was done, and we move on from it. So
let's leave it there. Let's get rid of all the misery in one go. Coming up in part 2, we'll be talking about the coronavirus. We'll be right back.
Marvellous.
Welcome back to part 2 of the Toffee TV podcast. Ped, Baz and Steve in the chairs this week. So obviously you can't escape it. I mean, I hope I escape it, but you can't escape the coronavirus. It's everywhere, and obviously now it's touching football. We've had our first cancellation in this country. Man City versus Arsenal has been called off due to Arsenal players interacting with the Olympiacos and Nottingham Forest owner. And Arsenal have also interacted with West Ham since then. Portsmouth have interacted with Fleetwood. It's just mad, isn't it? It's mad. And what I don't understand about it, I think it's because I wasn't sure whether we should talk about it, but I think it's so important because not only is it like a national thing now, it's going to be it's obviously bigger than just sport, but sport plays such a big part in it, and I'm absolutely like flabbergasted that we just seem to be continuing like normal. Like it's only games that are getting cancelled that they know that someone's got it and therefore don't want to spread, when actually anybody in any stadium in this country could have it and could be helping to spread it. And surely if you want to stop a disease from spreading, you stop it from spreading, which is not have people in the same place.
We've got the Cheltenham Festival this week, haven't we? And 60,000 people a day there in close proximity. And how can you say that there isn't someone in that 60,000 who hasn't got it at the moment? And no one likes things being disrupted in their routine. But if you're trying to, it's like instead of just waiting till it inevitably gets worse, try and get a handle on it now so it never gets to where it may do. If you continue to keep football stadiums open and allow fans to go in, the chances are you are going to spread it, and then they come out and go where they go, and then you're struggling getting hold of it. So why not just take a lead on what other countries have done, even though we're not at that stage, and go, right, we're postponing everything for 3 weeks, and we'll have a look at it in 3 weeks where we are. And if it's slowed down in those 3 weeks, then we will open every, we'll carry on. Listen, it's disruptive, but now's almost the perfect time. There's an international break in a couple of, so there's no footy for almost 2 weeks anyway. Yeah. So a week either side or 1 week now would give them certainly where football's concerned, it give the opportunity for it maybe to slow down the scene. I was watching the skiing was on, the downhill skiing or something was on, when you're watching telly, like you've recorded something and it stops and you're getting ready, and like ESP, like Eurosport or ESPN or something.
This is the worst explanation of why you recorded skiing.
I haven't recorded skiing, it was on. But
I was waiting for the 10-minute preview and and they just happened to be skiing on, and I turned it over dead quick.
And
sitting there in his skiing gear.
Yeah, full on skiing.
Like Ned Flanders going, it feels like I got nothing on at all.
I mean, this is quite a serious point. I
know, but you've got to.
And they were talking about, they just made a decision that they're cancelling the World Cup, and it's just done. That they was like, we're finishing this tournament over the next couple of days, and that's it. It's cancelled. And there's other things. We've seen La Liga come out and they've played behind closed doors. Although there's now something coming out from Spain saying they don't expect La Liga to be finished now. They think it'll be cancelled. Serie A have said exactly the same. So the Premier League will end up being cancelled, whether or not. Everything is cancelled with it, we don't know, but why not deal with it now, Steve?
Yeah, Steve, deal with it, Steve.
As someone who's in the travel industry as well,
it's very worrying, because at football we have so many different age groups who go to football, and they're saying obviously a lot of young kids could have it and don't even know, and then they're going to matches where you could be sitting in front of an elderly person who might have a condition or could have. Of course. So, and we're allowing people to go into football grounds and go to the pub before the game, touch glasses, touch like sit on chairs, whatever, and then they're going to go in the ground. Let's just talk about Monday night, heated game, shouting, like whatever. You know what I mean? That's where it's coming from when you're
spitting
talking.
I mean, it's not airborne, luckily, but it's going on surfaces, isn't it? People are shouting,
exactly,
and then you touch it.
And then you're looking at like tonight's game, like Liverpool are playing Atletico Madrid. They're allowing 3,000 fans coming from Madrid, but they're not even allowing their own fans into their own stadium in another country.
Spain,
but they're going to come to England and potentially then pass a virus on over here,
or pick up a virus.
And in the Germany game last night, you got Leipzig playing Tottenham, but tonight you can't play a game in Munich. It's behind closed doors. It just doesn't.
It's all over the place.
It's just really strange how it's been handled in this country anyway. So.
I think it's mad what they've done in Spain. Italy have shown that. I think France are playing. They're playing closed doors as well. I don't know why you do that. No. Italy tried that and now they shut it all down. If you play games behind closed doors in any country, people will want to watch it, and they'll want to watch it in groups of people. So let's say the weekend they said the Merseyside derby is getting played behind closed doors. Well, every pub in Liverpool then would be full, and it would mean people would be shoulder to shoulder on each other. As you mentioned, glasses and all kinds getting people's hands on it. People are going to be going to the toilet every 5 minutes because they're drinking. They're not going to be washing. This is what I don't understand about Cheltenham. People will be going to Cheltenham, and I know they've got all kinds of hand sanitizers, but there's going to be so much ale drunk that people will just be like, "Oh, go to the toilet," and they won't wash their hands. No, and then money's getting passed around, and it's be the same in football. If they play behind,
of people that walk out the toilets
exactly
without washing their hands.
People go, and like especially I want to go to the toilet. I can't be bothered waiting because. This is something my missus said to me, right? She said to me, if I go she said, I don't know if I'm going to go to game Monday. She said, because the women's toilets don't have any hot water. This is in the Gladys Street. And they don't have any hand sanitizer. Now, in the men's, they do have hand sanitizer. And she went, she's got asthma. And she's like, I can't go to match, go to the toilet and not wash my hands. And yet, I won't be able to wash my hands. Because there's not enough women's toilets, there's not enough washing area for it, and there's not sanitizer. Now Everton might put more hand sanitizer in it, but she's been in touch with the club about this, and they've not got back to her and given any concrete. And it's little things like that. It's just like it's at the end of the day, it's sport. and this is the whole thing with this country. It's all about money in this country. Yeah. It's not about the safety of people. It's about money. So there's no like clear plans of what had happened if you're off sick or whatever. So people will go, I might lose my job if I'm off sick, and it's like, so they'll go to work sick. And it's the same with football. People will go, Monday Night Footy, right? Everton, Liverpool, Merseyside derby. No, nobody is sitting there going, oh, you know what, I feel a bit sick, I'm not going to go to this game. They're going to go, oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'll be fine. Because that's all the thing is, I'll be fine. Like you mentioned there about like if a young kid went, right, and there was an elderly person. Well, they said they were going to say anyone over 70. Right, well, that's okay. So what? So number one, you're stopping a group of people from going to the game. What if you go to match every week and there's 3 generations? There's the son, the dad or the mum, and then the grandmother and the grandfather, right? The grandmother or grandfather doesn't go to the game, and straight afterwards you go round to their house and go, oh, you should have seen it. And the kid's like, oh, granddad or grandma, you missed the game, and they're hugging them and all that.
Same difference.
It's the same. You're spreading it straight away. These are the things that, like, I can't understand the rationale of, well, we don't think there's no confirmed cases of anyone's got it, so let the game go ahead. But it's like, no, what's going to kill people in this country is the NHS is going to crash and burn all in one go. Yeah. That's what's going to kill people. There's not enough beds. They've already said this. There's not enough beds to deal with it. So why not go, you know what, we're going to call footy off for the next few weeks. And we know, let's say they go, we know 3 million people in this country are going to get it. But if 3 million people get it over 4 months rather than 2 months, then there'll be so much less pressure on the NHS. And we'll battle through it. It's just, honest to God, money.
Why would you risk putting it into an area where there's 40,000 people? Yeah. Just using Everton on Saturday for argument's sake. You know, why? Because 2 people are in there. How many people does that spread to? It's ridiculous now. What we need to do, listen, it's been handled, in my opinion, ridiculously all the way through. The minute it was in China, it should have been, in my opinion, shouldn't have been allowing anyone out of China anywhere. Everyone should have been self-quarantine. Let's see if we can get hold of it. But it's happened and it's gone on. But we've seen patterns around the world. And the best way, one thing it is it's spreading. Now, I'm not sat here thinking, oh my God, I might get it and die. That's not my thought, but what I'm thinking is, and most people won't die with it. Yeah. 99%.
80%.
But 20%, that means 20%. Even like that's 20% people who might die.
No, but there'll be more than, it'll be higher than, it'll be like 90% they won't die with it when you look at the numbers. But you're still spreading that to people, making them sick, putting pressure on the NHS, putting pressure on people's lives because they can't go to work, putting pressure on work then because they haven't got people to do the job. So you're creating an issue. Get ahead of the curve and go, you know what, let's cut down these opportunities for it to be spread on mass places. In France, no more than 1,000 can gather anywhere, so that's why all the football's been jibbed, and it'll be cancelled in the next week or so. I guess. I know they're playing games behind closed doors, that'll be jibbed as well, because players will go, nah.
I've seen a few Premier League managers who've come out the last couple of days, Guardiola I think, and the Wolves manager, and he was saying,
isn't it weird that all 3 of us can't remember what the Wolves manager's name is?
And they're basically saying that, well, if there's no fans there, what's the point of playing it?
Just don't play.
I totally agree with it.
It's a sport, it's a game, it's there for entertainment. I know people have it as their lives, it's a bit important, but the reality is if you actually just step away from that, it's actually just a game, it's entertaining. If they said to you, if you go to pitches, you're probably going to get this illness, would you go to pitches? You probably go, you know what, I'll leave that for a couple of weeks.
So hang on, so Saturday, let's say Monday night's game, right? So my sister, she's recovering from cancer, she's in remission, she ain't going to risk that. Her immune system's really weak. She hasn't been to a lot of, she didn't go to any games over the winter because her immune system's so weak.
She can't go.
Sam, my wife, she's got asthma. She works for the NHS, so she's debating it as well, because like we've just said about like the toilets and everything. There's just 2 people.
I was saying to Baz before about my dad. My dad suffers with diabetes.
So there's two people straight away that you're like, from my point of view, that I know that wouldn't go to the match. You'll know. Yeah. We'll all know people who go, why would you risk it for a game of footy? And this is what I can't understand about like the public conscience. This is like, why would you risk it? They've already said, right, loads of people are going to get this, and the reason they're going to get it is because it's a new disease. We haven't got any tolerance to it. We'll all probably get it if we come into contact with it. We'll have to suffer with it for a week or so, get the antibodies in our system, and then it'll never be this bad. It's the first like new thing we've had for a while, which actually we can all get, right? So I just can't, like, it's, to me, it's not even a question, is it? It's not even a question. It's this weekend's game should all be cancelled. Following weekend's game should all be cancelled. Then we go into an international break, and then we make a decision the week after. But their idea is, well, let's just get through it this week, let's get through it next week, and then we've got an international break, and then see where we are, where that could be thousands upon thousands onto millions. We've just said before when we started it, the Olympiacos owner, then he passed it to the Arsenal team, but Arsenal team might have passed it to the West Ham team. How many of those West Ham players who didn't know they come into contact could have contacted other people? Portsmouth players, Portsmouth have played Fleetwood, and you're like, that's just one incident of one man. You know what I mean? It's just mad. And I honestly, but you'll have all these people in the background going, oh, you can't cancel it. Oh, because Sky, I've got this game, and it's Monday Night Football. So and I know, and that's the problem with this country, though, is you can't. If I
said to you, didn't I? The first thing I seen this morning, was saying, but what about the economy? Well, it doesn't matter about the economy. It's people's lives. You know what I mean? We're not messing with.
You're going to do more damage long term to the economy than if you just get ahead of the curve. No,
and football's not just. People don't just come from this country for football. They come from all around the world. Like we'll see tonight, Liverpool, Man United. They've got a massive tourism. The people come from other sides of the world to come and watch Liverpool or to watch Man United.
Of course, and then they fly back out.
And they fly back, and
then they're taking it. It's ridiculous.
It is.
It's a sport.
And then UEFA coming out this morning saying that the Euros is definitely going to be going ahead.
Because again, money. Money, they won't cancel these games because of money.
But the thing is, if they actually cancel games in the league now and try to halt it a little bit, the Euros may still be able to go. And this is what they're saying. UEFA have said they're not bothered about leagues getting cancelled. They should be cancelled, so to protect the Euros. So that's
all money.
Well, that's it.
Well, I think Klopp said yesterday in the press conference, he was asked by someone about it who's like a journalist, and Klopp properly flipped on the journalist.
He said, "I'm not a medical."
This was a different one. This was a different one. This was where he said to him, he said something about, "Are you worried?" or something about people coming into the fan. He went, "Where are you from?" And he went, "Madrid." He said, "So it's all right for you to fly here from Madrid for your job. Did you not think Did you not think there was a problem with you coming here? Hang on." He said, "You're not even playing footy in Spain." He said, "So you could have brought it over here. Did you not think about that?" He properly flipped on him, and he was right. He said to him, he's like, you're basically having a go at me, saying, should we even be playing games? And you've come from Spain for this game. So, and he was right in what he was saying. There's too much of it goes on where we go, it's fine.
That's my point. There's fans who've come from another country who are going to be going around the city all day today.
Yeah, they were here yesterday.
Going to restaurants, going to pubs, going to shops, and
catching it from us.
Or giving it to us.
Either, isn't it?
But they're not allowed to go and watch their own team at the weekend.
I think it's mad. Personally, I'd just make a decision Thursday, like tomorrow, and just say it's all off this weekend. We can't justify anyone getting sick.
But to me, if they've let Cheltenham go ahead, they're going to let Premier League games go ahead.
Yeah, but it's different though, isn't it?
But hang on, what's if we got a game the week after, are we playing the week after?
No, we haven't.
No, we haven't got it. We should have had Norwich, shouldn't we?
Weeks, I think it is.
So they should really just, if they're not going to do it Thursday, this weekend should be the last games they play. But then should just be done now.
But should this come down to
the government?
I know, but should this come down? But should football clubs lead the way on this? Should Everton lead the way on this? You know, we're sitting here. Should Everton not come out and say we?
Well, I've seen Benfica are refusing to travel. They've told UEFA they're
refusing
to travel to a game.
If Everton just turned around to the Premier League and said, we for the safety of our fans, because let's say the weather was really bad, right?
It'd be called off.
Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
So should Everton not turn around? And I'm not having a go at Everton. But should Everton be prepared to turn around and just go? We can't justify this game going ahead. We can't justify a certain amount of our fans getting ill.
Well, what is City going to do? Because I think they're making a decision tomorrow about the Burnley game. So they've called Arsenal off tonight.
But this is the thing, though, with City, though, because the game is off for one particular reason. It's justified. They've got no justification, and this is the problem. They've got no justification to call off the Burnley game other than the coronavirus is out there. They've got justification for this because Arsenal players are in quarantine.
Oh, City haven't met them, of course. Yeah. Because I've seen City saying they.
Because I've seen loads of people saying, how are Wolves travelling to Olympiacos to play them? Well, the simple reason is because anyone who's infected at Olympiacos won't be there.
Behind closed doors now, isn't it?
Yeah, so there's justification for cancelling, because the Arsenal players, some of them are in 14-day quarantine, and 4 backroom staff who were sitting by him, apparently. They're in quarantine.
Well, they've got, I know the Brighton game at the weekend, I was saying to Steve before, do you reckon the Brighton game's going to be off because they're playing Arsenal on Saturday?
But that's what I'm saying.
So that'll be off. So already.
So what about West Ham?
No, that's what I mean. So already we're thinking, aren't we?
We're already calling
the games off. So why not just go, right, everything's off for the sake of the nation's health? Let's try to cut down on the opportunity to spread this thing. We've got an international break coming up. Call it off till after the international break.
It comes like this morning. Wolves asked for the game to be cancelled, and UEFA said.
Well, UEFA won't, because UEFA are absolute.
And yet, though,
listen, UEFA,
they're considering cancelling it after this round.
UEFA played games the day of 9/11. They made Dortmund play a game. If you ever watched
Dortmund, that's a play.
The documentary where
actually this is why Tuchel left.
Yeah.
Because he said that the club should have stood up for the players. The players, some of them are in absolute trauma. Don't forget, one of them nearly lost his arm, didn't he? Because of nearly lost it because of the explosion. And yet he made them play it. Was it the week after or
the day?
The next day, yeah.
The bomb went off and they had to play.
He made them play because that's basic. And again, this is. But what? Let's just to round this off. Yeah. Can you imagine? Right? Can you imagine in, let's say, a month's time? Right? If it comes out, a gentleman has died. The gentleman attended a Premier League game on the weekend of the 14th and 15th of March. It looks like he that helped. Could you imagine the bad PR for the Premier League if that happens?
It's probably going to happen then.
You'd sue them.
No, probably
if you were a family member though, you'd sue the club as well.
No, you wouldn't have a leg to stand on, because the Premier League would just say, we told you not to come. And that's the problem. Whereas the Premier League,
not telling people, are they?
No, the Premier League should right now be taking a stand and going, you know what, we love our fans, and we're calling them off because
for your health.
And that's what I don't know if it's Benfica, but someone in the Europa League has said we're not playing the game, and UEFA, I think basically they said we're prepared to lose our chance in this competition for it.
Yeah, that's what they should do.
It's going to take something like that.
Well, that's bad press though, then, isn't it? On UEFA, isn't it? What you're doing is you make the decision. We're not doing it for health reasons. You make the decision,
exactly.
And then it's all about UEFA kick people out.
Is it going to take a Premier League team to go, we're not playing, take the points off?
Well, I hope maybe if City do decide and say we're not playing at the weekend, this has proven to us that it only takes one person and we're cancelling the game for the sake. And then if someone like City do it,
you never know. Guardiola, I'm not saying it's happened, but Guardiola and Arteta may have met each other over the weekend, or because they're good mates.
But that's what I'm saying. For all we know is that could have happened. But what I think, if one team says we're not playing at the weekend, we're not playing. We're shutting the stadium and we're not playing, because number one, it's the safety of our fans. It's also the safety of our people who work at the club, and it's the safety of our players. We are not playing. If it takes one. If one does it, then others will follow, because they'll go, oh, sound. I'd love it to be Everton to say, because we've got more time. If we were to come out on Friday and go, we're not playing this game, we're just not playing it. There's too much risk. There's too many people. We're taking a stand, and it's not happening. And I really hope they do.
Like, for what point do you not go with the game? Like, is it when you got a sniffle? Is it when you got a tiny little cough? Saying to Baz before, you have a sniffle. You go to the game. Yeah. Because I sit there's a bloke behind me, Begsy, sits behind me.
Yeah.
Is it good me sitting there with all game.
That's
You know what I mean? Like, you just don't know, do you? You don't.
At the end of the day,
Not like that.
you might know, but you might know anyway because it takes 5 days to come out anyway, doesn't it?
It's just.
Oh, just bin it all. Bin it all. In fact,
all.
just bin the Premier League.
Cancel.
Call it null and void. Take the title. You know the script.
Let's start again.
There you go. Yeah. Right, coming up in part 3, we'll be previewing a game we hope doesn't happen. See you then. Welcome back to the final part of the Toffee TV podcast. The Merseyside derby, Monday at Goodison Park. If it goes ahead.
Cancelled.
Yeah, just cancel it. Just cancel it. Right, and we could just like literally get off now and wouldn't even have to do a preview.
The biggest daily rise today. 83 more.
There you go. It's happening. I'm telling you, it's happening. It's happening. Merseyside derby Monday night. Obviously, the Arsenal Man City game got cancelled. So Man City need a point on the weekend if that game goes ahead. I hope it doesn't. And because obviously the big thing was going to be, wasn't it, Liverpool could win the title.
Dream.
Yeah, it was Sky's dream. That's why they moved it to Monday night. Liverpool could win the title. It didn't look like it was going to happen when obviously Watford beat them.
Yeah.
And then that game was hastily rearranged, and then that's off now. So Man City, if that game goes ahead, need a point against Burnley for it not to happen. And I just thought, and we spoke about this a couple of times, about just listen, we've all accepted Liverpool are going to win the league, and that's fine, no problems with that. Earlier the better.
Yeah.
But obviously not at Goodison Park, because that would have for me left an effect on this squad, this manager, and this set of fans. That certainly this manager, he doesn't deserve to be the manager who, you know, Liverpool came and won the title at Goodison Park.
No. Yeah, and I also think for the legacy of Goodison as well.
Yeah.
We're in our last 2 years potentially, and we believe in it, knowing 2 years before that they'd won the league. But it's not going to happen. But yeah, like Ped said, they unfortunately they've deserved to win the league. And but from our point of view, I think we've just got to go out there. And I watched Watford. I watched them play Watford a couple of weeks ago, and Watford did what a lot of other teams should have been doing all season. Really, is the problem is that when teams have played Liverpool this season, I've noticed if they concede the first goal, they just crumble, and it looks like they're scared to even try and get back into the game sometimes. But Watford showed a bit of confidence, got stuck in, just went for Liverpool a bit more than any other probably team has this season. And this is Watford, who was second from bottom. You know what I mean? So it proves it can be done. And I think from our attitude, I think we've got nothing to lose really on Monday. Like we all know we're not great in derby games anyway. So I'd rather us going out there and trying to actually win the game. Give the fans something to shout about. They're going to go on and win the league, but if we can put a nice win before it happens, it'll wouldn't soften the pain, but
no, but it'd be something for us to talk about, wouldn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, we've got to go and match them, haven't we? We were that far off the pace last week against Chelsea that in front of our own crowd, I don't think the crowd would allow the team to play that way. Watford had a blueprint of making sure that they had people behind the ball, so Liverpool couldn't play through them. Liverpool were limited to very little. I think they only had one shot on target. I think it was Robertson. Watford could have won 4 or 5. Shah missed a couple of sitters. He could have ended up with a hat-trick easily. So it's doable, as it's been proven.
They're also missing the goalkeeper.
The keeper's out as well. Alisson's not there. You know, and who knows who else will be injured. But for Everton's perspective, they've just got to go and get some pride back. And we've got...
Can I just butt in?
Go on.
Yeah, UEFA have postponed 2 Europa League games. There you go. You could travel in between Italy and Spain.
So, I mean, you know, if it goes ahead, Everton have got to...
And yeah, there's loads of Spanish people in the city at the moment.
Everton have got to... who will be in close contact with Liverpool fans, who will then be going to Goodison on Monday. Everton have got to make sure that they don't leave any gaps, get stuck in. I think the 2 lads up front give us a chance in every game. I know they didn't play particularly well at Chelsea at the weekend, but at home we're always different anyway. We're always a strong side at Goodison. Having Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin, I think we've got a great chance to score and goal.
Do you think he'll play Calvert-Lewin? Do you think he'll play Richarlison up front or from the right?
Play him up front.
Do you think?
Yeah, I don't. Moise Keane hasn't really had a go, but
I just thought when Moise Keane come on in the derby at Anfield.
No, it did, but it mean changing that. It depends what he does. Though.
I think
Delph might be fit.
What has to happen is that we have to have so much more energy in the game, because I think what you mentioned, Watford and Chelsea, when Liverpool were in possession, you've got to get six men in the back line, and you've got to get 3. Then you've got to have 9 behind the ball. You've got to stop the spaces. Liverpool love space behind the defence, and you've got to block it off as much as you can. When we went there and played 3 at the back, you could see them using the channels and going long. You've got to stop that from happening, and that, I think, it'd be interesting whether he goes 4-4-2, but then who he has to drop in. And that'd be interesting actually if he did play Holgate in centre midfield. I don't think he would, and ask Holgate to drop in as a third centre back, but be a centre midfielder in the game, and ask Keane to just be on the edge of the area with Mina.
I wouldn't be surprised if he played Mason at right back, honestly. I don't
know. I don't think he's. I don't think he would, because I don't think he's. I think that you look at players in certain positions and you say you ask them to play there. I don't think he's asked them to play there, so I don't know if it's in his mind. But
I just wouldn't be surprised, just the way Al Sidibe's been lately against like Aubameyang and obviously at the weekend.
I think you've just got to work all week to. I think all you can do is get your players and drill them all week on the way you play, and then when it comes to the game, see what happens. I think.
Don't forget he had a lot of joy with Napoli against Liverpool. Beat them and they played a 4-4-2 against Liverpool with Napoli. I know Napoli have got better players, but it's still a system. It was a system Liverpool couldn't get used to. They played them 3-4 times in 2 years, and Liverpool only won 1 game. 2-1, Napoli won 2 and he drew 1, didn't he? So he knows how to beat them. And Ped's right, you play a system, you work on it all week. We'll have had 8 days between games, so there's enough time. They probably train maybe 5 times in that period on shape, on how to get in. Liverpool aren't going to come to Goodison and play differently, because they play the same way all the time. There's no surprises. They'll bang it long into channels and have runners in behind us. They'll
try and nick it high in midfield.
Take it high, and then they catch you, they spring you, and you're in trouble. And if you give them chances, generally they take them. But what I would say about Liverpool over the last few weeks, they look vulnerable. They look like they've hit a little bit of a brick wall on energy level. I've seen them. They beat Bournemouth last week, and I wouldn't say they were lucky to beat Bournemouth, but Bournemouth missed good opportunities. I mean, Wilson
and
give Liverpool their goals. So we're going to have to be almost perfect on the night to win the game. We're going to have a bit of luck, because we are. But it's been 9 years since we beat them, hasn't it? 2011 or 2010 was it? Is it 10 years in October? So it's like 9.5 years since we beat them. That's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous.
I got Sky Q at the weekend, and obviously you lose all the recorded videos, and that game was still on the Skybox. I'd kept that. I'd kept Wolfsburg away because it'd gone, taped it off ITV, and it still had beaten Hull 5-0, and it
5-1.
And it had
Donovan.
Landon Donovan's last game, and it had I think it had the Man City game when we won 2-0 as well, and I was gutted because the fella was like, do you want me to take that? And I was like, at first I was like, do you know what, I'll get the hard drive off it and download it and put it on me. And in the end I just thought, why? Why? Let it go. Just let it go. Just let it.
When that was, they were close to going bust, weren't they, at the time?
Roy Hodgson.
That's how long ago it was.
We battered them.
I know, we did.
Beat them 2-0. It could have been 8.
I think with the first 20 minutes, we just go long and we test. We test Dom against Virgil van Dijk.
Have them running in behind,
and test Richarlison, and just try and get it the other end. And then what that'll do is that gives you more time if the ball's at the other end of the pitch to get into your shape
and get the crowd engaged.
And then just don't lose it in the first 20 minutes. You know what I mean? You're not going to win a game in the first 20 minutes, but you can definitely lose it.
They can.
No, but you can definitely lose it, can't you? That's what I'm saying. We can easily. We're the worst for quick fire goals.
The one thing I would say is that when they beat us at Anfield in the league, they beat us 5-2. We had a lot of chances that night. We could have scored half a dozen ourselves that night.
Should have had the penalty.
Should have had the penalty. We should have. Richarlison missed the chance when he should have done better. Moise Keane almost made it 4-3. The keeper made a couple of good saves. We got in a lot of times.
I've watched a few teams against Liverpool this season and they've got in.
You've got to take it. Liverpool have got this. They've got it. It's become a psychology thing now, right? So when when you play against them, you're going to get chances, but loads of teams snatch at the chances because they don't feel like they're going to get them. We seen one on Bournemouth last minute. I know probably would have been disallowed for offside, but snatching a chance because you don't feel like you're going to get them. And it happened to us in the other games that we snatched the chances because you'd like, oh my God, we've got a chance to score here. And I think that's what we've got to do better. That's where Dom has been guilty at Arsenal and Chelsea, snatching those chances. He's got to have a bit more composure. Whoever gets the chance has got to have a bit more composure. They've built up this thing of like they're not invincible anymore, but they have built that up of we're invincible. If you score, even if you score one, we'll go and score two. And that what happens is, you'll know this yourself, when you play against them, when teams play against them, they don't know whether to take the risk because that'll leave space behind. And what the Watford game was just, they took every opportunity basically, and they didn't like get flustered by it. They kept going and making opportunities, and they caught Liverpool on a day. But it can happen. It can happen.
Brilliantly, Watford.
Yeah. That's it.
Like I said, Sark missed 2 sitters at the end. They could have been 5-0.
Yeah. And
you would have been going, bloody hell, 5-0, and they're second to bottom. So if you get it right and you get your shape and you work hard, then why not? You know, the records are there to be broken. They're there to be beaten. Liverpool
I prefer records are there to be expunged and
asterisk.
And, start again, but you know what I mean.
Well, let's turn up, let's have a go at them, engage the crowd if the crowd are there, and
engage the crowd through the telly. Not one thing it can't be is behind closed doors, because that is literally the worst thing it could be. Oh my God, I can't even imagine Liverpool, the city centre, if that game was behind closed. Oh my God.
How do you think if it was behind closed doors? How do you think the game would play out?
That'd be awful.
They'd
win 8-0.
Do you think? They'd batter us?
They'd destroy us. Our players wouldn't be able to cope.
Imagine if we play behind closed doors, don't beat them 3-0, just batter them, and everyone's like, "Oh, for fuck's sake, they've been there."
No, it'd be awful. It'd be
weird, wouldn't it?
I'm not being funny. The police would have to just say this game can't go ahead because there's 40 people.
You'd have people outside and everything.
Valencia did last night. Had fans outside.
You'd be like, people would be making jarred media passes and everything. That's where that fella got in who spoke to Mourinho at their game last night. You'd have people turning up in like. People have probably got like stewards' outfits in their houses just for this one day of it happening. So no, it can't happen. It can't happen. So
it's not really a good look either, is it? Really, like that Valencia.
Not for the Premier League. No, don't let it off. Just call it off. Call it off now. Call it off and
or just give us the win. Give us a 3-0 win. We won't play, but we'll just have a 3-0 win for it. Let's move on. So
give them a 3-0 win. I couldn't care less.
Oh no, I don't want them winning.
No, we'd have an asterisk.
Doesn't matter. No,
always have an asterisk.
No, they're not winning a good.
Tainted title.
What?
Tainted title.
Oh, it's going to be anyway, but they're not winning a good.
No, they wouldn't be. They'd just give them the points. Wouldn't be classed.
No, because we're going to beat them. This is the year that Dom's actually going to score the winner.
You had black hair, and the last time you was.
I know.
You said that.
I know, but we're going to. Come on. This season's been that mad, so surely this is the season we beat them.
Of course it has.
Michael Keane scored it.
Gylfi Sigurdsson,
anything can happen.
Gylfi 35-yarder.
Whips her across.
Yeah. Final word on Monday.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Gylfi the Great.
They've a lad in here with Tom. And sanitizer.
No, let's go.
There you go.
That's it.
Let us know your thoughts anyway on that. Let us know your thoughts on the whole coronavirus issue. Would you call it all off? And we would. It's the best thing to do. Just call it all off. Start again in August.
Shave everyone.
Start again in August.
Open the transfer window.
I think 19 teams would happily sign up to just being called off, wouldn't they?
Yeah, 100%.
19 teams have no problem.
100%.
Let us know your thoughts. Don't forget, if you want to watch the video version of this podcast, it is available on Patreon. We'll be back next week. I mean, hopefully we'll be back next week to chat more about whether the Merseyside derby happened, and if it did happen, what happened in it. So make sure you check us out. There's loads of great videos also on our YouTube video and on Patreon. The links are all in the description. See you later, God willing.